Hey, good afternoon, boys and girls, and welcome to this Tuesday Dana White Contender Series preview show right here on Kate Saw with Christopher James. I am Christopher James and happy to be here with you guys today. So we got a bunch of fights coming up tonight. We got 5 fights, man, 5 exciting matchups that we're going to get into. Before we do, I just want to remind everybody I got some shows coming up and some appearances I'm going to be making all around the country and some international too. So, this weekend, I will be in Daytona Beach, Florida for BKFC Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship 12. Lane versus Alves is going to be in the main event. Bunch of other great fights on that card. You can go to the Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship website or Facebook page or Snapchat or Instagram and find the full fight card. I also have it on my Facebook page as well. And you can go check that out. So I'll be there for that. Next weekend, I'll be here in Tampa. The following weekend, I'm going to be heading to, following week, I should say, I'll be heading to Biloxi, Mississippi, and I will be ring announcing for Roy Jones Jr. Boxing and the debut of Icon Fighting Federation on UFC Fight Pass. Both events will be on UFC Fight Pass. I'll be ring announcing both, pardon me, and we're going to have a good time with both of those shows. 2 days later, I'll be in Tunica, Mississippi on the BKTV app, announcing Legacy Fighting presents Toe the Line. It's a bare knuckle fighter feeder league that is going to be debuting on the 26th in Tunica, Mississippi. Again, it'll be on the BKTV app, so you can check that out. I also, right after that, I come home for a couple days. I head off to Pensacola October 3rd for Island Fight 64. I'll be ring announcing that. And then October 16th, I'll be in Plant City, Florida, and I will be announcing the second Toe the Line series. So that's going to be in Plant City. And then October 22nd, I'm heading to Hermosillo, Mexico, or San Carlos, Mexico, one of the two, for Roy Jones Jr. Boxing and Icon Fighting Federation 2. We're going to have a good time at both those events. All those events are coming up. So I'm excited about that. I'm excited about all those shows that I got coming up. And but tonight is Tuesday, and that means Dana White's Contender Series is going to take place. We have 5 fights tonight that are going to be absolutely awesome. So we're going to break into these things here tonight, and get with you guys. So let's see. So we can go through all of these fights. And hold on a second. All right, cool. So anyway, we have 5 fights tonight, and I don't have the fight order in front of me, so part of my ignorance there. But we have 5 fights tonight, like I said, and we're going to break them all down as best I can. We have let's see. So let's go down to our first fight. Let me pull up my notes here on my computer. So let's see, which one shall we break down first? We'll start up here, I guess. It looks like, if I'm correct, the first bout of the night is going to be Aliskab Kejurev versus Enrique Shigemento. This is going to be a very interesting fight. And the reason I say that is because both these guys, let me pull up again. I got all kinds of notes up here right now. So let me pull all this up. All right. So, Alex Shab Kerejev is 12-0. He's undefeated. And the way he fights, he's very well rounded. He's got 5 finishes by knockout, 3 submissions, and 4 decisions. So obviously he's showed that he's well rounded. He can fight anywhere in these fights. And but his skill set, what we're talking about here, he's really well rounded. He's got that that grappling background. So he can submit you, but he also has the power in his hands to knock you out. He's taken on Henrique Shigemento, and this guy's 13-3 with 1 draw. So it's really interesting to see this guy, go in there. And now this guy right here, he's a striker. He comes to us from Brazil. He's 5'11", 185 pounds, and this, obviously I should have said this is a middleweight fight when I first started the conversation. However, he's 13-3, and 10 of those wins, of his 13 wins, are by knockout or TKO. Also, 3 submissions in the bag. He's never gone to a decision. This guy is a finisher of the highest order, and he's looking to go out there and take the O from Kirazev. Now, when I look at this fight, my brain is telling me, all right, so we got the big finisher up here that likes to finish fights and never been taken to a decision. We got the other guy who is somebody that you have to take seriously because he can finish you on the feet or on the ground, but he also is willing to go the distance with you. As I look at this fight, I try to say to myself, what's going on here? So, and this is a tough fight to pick because there are so many things that can happen in it. I've only seen both these guys fight once. So, it's hard for me to say, but Karachev is the favorite in this, I believe at minus 285. But Shigemoto, I mean, I don't know, man. A lot of people are saying that Karachev is going to out grapple this guy and just, run into a decision. But this is the Contender Series, and these guys are trying to finish fights and do it in spectacular fashion to impress UFC boss Dana White and the matchmakers there. I'm going to go on the outside in this, and everybody says that, the favorite, is Karachev at, again, minus 285. I'm going to step outside in this one. I'm going to take Shigemoto, Shigemoto to take this fight. I think he's hungry. I think he wants to finish. I think the added inspiration of taking away somebody else's is going to play into this fight. He does not go to decision, in all his pro fights. So I just, and I could be wrong, but I'm going to go on the outside of this buck. I'm going to take Shigemoto. Coming up next, we have Draco Rodriguez. And let me see. Let me look at my matchup page here. Draco Rodriguez is going to be taking on Mana Martinez. Now, this is also another good fight. Let me pull up my stats here. All right, so we don't need this one. We already did that. I've got all kinds of stats up here on my computer that I was compiling earlier. So I'm just trying to find all of it. Y'all guys have to pardon me. Nope, that's not it. Wrong guy. Nope, that's not it. Mana Martinez, 6-1, taking on a 6-1 fellow fighter, Draco Rodriguez. Let me see if I can pull it up here. Draco Rodriguez, 6-1, 2 KOs, 3 submissions, and Martinez, 6 KOs, TKOs. He's never gone to a decision. He's got 1 loss. He lost a decision. I am looking at this fight, and I'm excited about it because these are 2 guys that are equally matched. They're 6-1, just like the other matchup too. Those guys are evenly matched, same amount of fight time inside the cage or the octagon or wherever they are. I'm going to go with Rodriguez to take the L on this one, and but he, he's a plus 115 on this card, so he's the underdog in this. And I like this guy. He honestly, I believe he should have already gotten signed. If I'm correct, I believe he was offered a fight and he wasn't able to get out of a contract he had before. So he had to fulfill his contract, but now he's going to find the Contender Series. If he can get through the first round, and that's going to be the tough part for him, getting through that first round, because his opponent, Mana, is going to come out and try to finish him. There is no maybe I'm going to try to finish him. I'm thinking about trying to finish him. They're coming out to fight, and they're coming out to get finishes on this one. It's a really, really interesting matchup. And again, these guys are both evenly matched. But Rodriguez, where he can work the submission, and that's all great. Mana, however, is going to want to finish him, So I'm really, and the real name is Leo Mana Martinez versus Draco Rodriguez. I'm digging this fight. Again, and these guys can both go anywhere. However, with the finishing rate for Martinez at, 100%, in his 6 wins, I don't see this fight going long. I think he's going to come out and really work hard. He fights out of Houston, Texas. He's 24 years old. And I just think at this point right now, he's ready to go out there and do that work that he needs to get done because it's time. It's time for this guy to go in, and his opponent's also 20. This is a great matchup. Both guys 24. This guy, Rodriguez, fights out of Sioux City, Iowa. So, and again, he's got 2 KOs on his record. He's got 3 submissions. He's got 1 decision. So, while he showed a little more willingness to take the fight everywhere, when you got a guy that's standing across the octagon from you that wants to take your head off and finish you, and in a pressure cooker like this where you're fighting for a UFC contract, you better be ready to go to work and you better be able to withstand the punishment that your opponent is going to dish out. I'm taking Martinez to win in this one. I just think that's the right pick. Like I said, I think he's coming out there to finish and really put on a show, and that's what he likes to do. So, we're gonna see what he's made of tonight, and I'm all about it, man. You know what I'm saying? All about that fight. Now, coming up next, yeah, as we scroll down the card, we've got another guy who I'm gonna have trouble announcing his name. Let me see if I got it right here. Kazimierz Bestev versus Phil Hawes. Now, I like this one because Phil got an easy name for me to announce, man. But now let me pull up their stats here. Hang on a second. Ding, 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 ding. So Phil Hawes, he's 7-2, 5 finishes by KO or TKO, 2 submissions. Hasn't gone to a decision in any of his victories. His losses, he took 1 by KO, TKO, and he took 1 by submission. He's out of Little Ferry, New Jersey. He likes to fight. He likes to, when I say he likes to fight, I'm not saying it because, hey, Corey McGee, how you doing? I'm not saying that because, of anything other than, all these guys like to fight. But there's something about this guy, his nickname is Megatron. He likes to really fight. Like, he would fight every day if they let him. Of course, they're not going to let him fight every day. But this is the kind of guy you want. He wants to go out there and put an end to the fight before you can even get started. He's willing to go out there and bang. He's willing to eat 1 to take 1, or eat 1 to give 2. So when you look at the card and you look at him, taking on his opponent, Bestev is 10-3 with 4 TKOs, 6 submissions under his belt. His 3 losses were 2 by TKO or knockout and 1 by submission. He's fighting out American Kickboxing Academy, DC school. So, he's got some ties with those guys. He's got great wrestling, great grappling, submissions. He can finish you on the feet, but submissions are his strong point. Now, when you have a guy like this who's 10-3 against a 7-2 contract on the line, again, a submission artist versus a guy that wants to knock your head off. And this is the best thing about the UFC because we get to see these matchups all the damn time. But on the Contender Series, there's so much more behind it because of the pressure that you need to go out there and win in impressive fashion to get a contract. So go out there and get the work done. Now, when you look at this one, and let me pull up the betting odds here on this one. I believe, if I'm correct, Hawes is minus 425 favorite on this one. He's been on the Contender Series, if you guys remember. He's also been on the Ultimate Fighter, kind of like Josh Parisi. There's not very few guys. It's a small group that have done both. When he was on the Contender Series, he came up short in the fight, but he came up short. But I expect him to go out there and finish this fight tonight. I expect him to get a TKO or possibly not even a TKO, maybe a straight up knockout, and take home the win and the contract. This guy is primed. He is UFC ready. So, and both guys are. I'm not going to say that neither one is. But at this point right now, Hawes is on that rise. He's on that streak. He's ready to go out there and show the world why, putting him on the Contender Series before and on Tough wasn't wrong. Maybe he needed a little more seasoning. So he's gone back to the gym. He's fixed some stuff in the laboratory, if you will. And tonight we're going to see the best Phil Hawes we've ever seen. Next up, we're going to have Cameron Church taking on Sherrard Blackledge. Now, this one right here, both of these guys, Sherrard Blackledge is 4-0 as a fighter. Cameron Church is also 4-0 as a fighter. Cameron's gone out there and won his fight, straight quick, 3 KOs and 1 submission, no decisions, no losses. So obviously this is what we have to base him off of. And we have Sherrard Blackledge, who again, he's got 2 KOs, 2 decisions. He's 4-0 as well. This is a welterweight fight between these two guys. Blackledge is 170, trains out in Vegas, and Church trains out in California with Escobar Training. Sherrard's training out with Syndicate MMA. So, you know, John and all those guys out there, great camp for him to be in. I have personal experience with Blackledge, watching him fight up close and personal as he's fought with us at Island Fights a couple of times. And the first time he came in, you know, he came in and he was 1-0 when he came in, you know, and he came out there and just boom, he fought a guy named Alvin Davis, 250 of round 1. He had a knockout. The thing about Blackledge is that he is so composed inside the cage or the ring or the octagon. In the case I saw him, it was in the ring. He likes to go out there and fight. There's a vibe that comes off this kid. You know, when you meet some of these guys, you know, as I come up, you know, I work the regionals. So, you know, I see a lot of these guys on their way up, and I say to myself, well, this guy's got, this guy don't. The first time I met Sherrard and I shook his hand, I knew this kid was special. Then I watched him fight up close and personal. And my boss, Dean Toole, told me, even before the matchup and before I got to watch the fight, that Blackledge is going to be in the UFC and it's not going to take him long. Well, now he's 4-0, and tonight he's fighting for a contract. A lot of people are picking Cameron Church to go out there and win this fight. I believe he's a minus 150 favorite. You know, and everybody seems to say that he's a little more well-rounded. And, you know, he's going to try to get the fight to the ground and either work a decision or get a submission win. But the problem is he's going in there against a guy who has no problem, you know, taking it to the decision, but he's always out there hunting the knockout. However, he doesn't get impatient, and he's not going to force the knockout or the submission to happen. He's going to watch things develop, and he's going to let the fight come to him. You know, and when I say that, it doesn't mean he's going to sit back and wait for his opponent to do everything, but he's going to let the fight flow in its organic state. And when the moment is right, make no mistake, the Thriller in Blackledge is going to pounce. So while some people might say I'm biased on this one because of my relationship with Blackledge, I'm not. Blackledge, to me, is the more skilled. I know people are saying Church is doing, but, you know, these guys are equal in record. And like I said, you know, I think the big difference here is going to be that the length. I believe, if I'm correct, that the length and the height, it's only like an inch height difference. But I believe the length is going to be the thing that you know, is going to play a big part in this fight. You know, the reach that Sherrard Blackledge has, he's so awesome at using it. You know, he's got a 70-inch reach, but he's really good at working in the distance and, you know, controlling the distance and the pace of the fight. So, you know, if you're putting money on this one, even though Church might be the favorite, this might be an upset underdog. I wish my buddy Garrett Kermer was here to tell me, you know, right or wrong on this one, because it's going to be an absolute barn burner. And I think this might be the fight that steals the show. So you guys should make sure you tune into this one, because it's going, like I said, it's going to be a killer one. Now, I believe the feature fight on this one is Tafan Nchukwi. He's the Cameroon Express. He's 3-0. All three finishes. All three fights have finished by knockout or TKO. He's taken on an 8-2, a 10-fight veteran, and Al Matavo, aka Sweetness. Now, he's out of American Samoa, and his opponent's out of Cameroon. Matavo, five knockouts, 1 submission, 2 decisions. This is going to be one of those fights where you got a big knockout guy in Tafan Nchukwi, who, you know, he's green. You know, I mean, at the end of the day, he's green. So it's going to be very, very interesting to see how he plays out, because, again, like I said, you know, he's 3-0 as a pro. You know, and I couldn't find any amateur stuff from him, but he's a big bruising man with a lot of power, but he's green. Now, there's going to be a lot of people that think that, you know, that Nchukwi is going to go out there and finish the fight. He's 25 years old. You know, he's got the height advantage. He's got a 4-inch height advantage. I can't find his reach stats anywhere, but while he's riding a 3-fight winning streak because that's all he's got. His opponent, Matavo, running a 4-fight streak. So and both of those out of those last 4, his last 2 were coming by way of first-round knockout. He's fought a big guy like Jake Kuhn, who fights for Ryzen. But he is the more experienced guy. And I think in this case, what'll happen is he's going to go out there and win. I'll give you the final odds for all these fights here in just a second. But everybody wants to say that this guy from Cameroon, the next wave of fighters coming out of that part of the world, but he's 3-0. And again, he's got power and he can knock you out, but we're going to see what he's really made of, because tonight he's probably fighting the most seasoned person that he, he's got, although he did last time out, he did take home a TKO win over William Knight, who's on a UFC developmental deal. And, now Knight has a contract. So again, he's had a couple of big fights, but, it's really strange. This guy can bounce in at light heavyweight or heavyweight as well. And he hasn't been out of the second round. So when you look at this card, Nchukwi, Matavo, Nchukwi is a minus 425 favorite, and Matavo's coming in at plus 325 in that fighting. The next fight, Cameron Church, is a minus 151 favorite. Blackledge is a plus 121 dog. Phil Hawes versus Bestov, 425, minus 425 for Hawes, and plus 325 for Bestev. Mana Martinez is the favorite in this one, minus 145, and I'm taking him to win that fight as well. I'm taking the favorite in that. So let me go down my picks here. So starting with my picks, and I'm going to give you the odds once again. In the first fight, I believe this is the right order. So if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But either way, my picks don't change. Kizrev, minus 285 versus Shigemuto, plus 225. I'm taking Shigemuto with the 225, being the 225 dog. I just think he's going to go out there and put it on Kizrev, and I think he's going to win the fight. He's going to finish it. Mana Martinez, Draco Rodriguez. Mana Martinez is the 145, minus 145 favorite. I'm taking him to win. Phil Hawes at minus 425. I think that's a gimme at this point. Cameron Church and Blackledge, again, I'm taking the dog in this one. I think Blackledge is really ready. I think he's octagon ready. I could be wrong, but the way I've seen him fight and the way I've seen Cameron Church fight, it's a good matchup. I just think Blackledge is going to have more composure. He's going to look like the seasoned vet in there that's, been there for 10 or 12 fights. And Nchukwi versus Matavo, the main event for this, if you will, the feature bout. Nchukwi is a minus 425. The guy is 3-0 against the guy that's 10-2, 10-3. I'm taking Matavo to win this fight. I think the experience is going to come out on his side. He's got to just avoid the big power punching of Nchukwi. So that's it. I mean, you can't, you can't sleep on power. So don't get me wrong. However, sometimes experience shows that, much power as you have, it doesn't matter. The experience in this fight and that main event fight is going to fall in the place of Matavo. I'm going to take him to win. So I guess I'm taking 3 dogs on this one. Now, again, if you make your picks based on mine, and you're betting, don't get mad if I'm wrong. I'm just doing this. I'm just out here like you. Taking picks and making guesses using the best information I have in front of me to try and give you guys insight. Some of you guys have more insight than me. I don't know, man. Some of you guys may be teammates with these guys, may have seen them up close and personal where I haven't. So make sure tonight that where's my damn thing here? Watch these fights. And remember, there's 5 fights tonight. So you've got Nchukwi versus Matavo in the main event. Church versus Blackledge should be the 4th fight of the night. Hawes versus Bestev will be the 3rd fight if my order is right. Martinez and Rodriguez will be the 2nd fight, and opening the show will be Shigemoto and Kizrev. All good fights, all good matchups, very good matchups, I should say. It's interesting to see. You got guys that are similar records, similar experience, except in the main card, except in the main fight. And, power. Power gets shit done. So, that's why he's there. He's a big guy who likes to finish, can throw punches. I'm getting blown up on my phone here all during this show. I don't even know why. But anyway, so that's the preview show for tonight, man. Don't forget that I will be in Biloxi September 24th for RJJ Boxing and Icon Fighting Federation 1 on UFC Fight Pass. September 26th, I'll be in Tunica, Mississippi for Toe the Line on the BK TV app. October 3rd, Island Fights in Pensacola, Florida. October 16th, Toe the Line on the BK TV app in Plant City, Florida. October 22nd, I'll be in Mexico announcing both Roy Jones Jr. Boxing and Icon Fighting Federation Icon 2. If you have any questions about any of these fights, shoot me a message or something here, and we'll try our best to answer them. If you guys are ready to have a good time tonight, like I said, tune in, watch the fights. They'll be on ESPN and ESPN Plus. That is the official streaming platform for the UFC. Now you know. And that's it, man. We got to dip on out of here, man. I had a great time this afternoon, and I got to go head off. I got a doctor's appointment now I got to go to. So I hope you guys had a good time. I hope you enjoyed the preview and the picks. We will be back later on tonight, or actually we'll be back tomorrow, and we will go over the results of the fights tomorrow afternoon, and we'll see how many I got wrong. That's right, man. I might have got some wrong. Hey, shit happens, man. It's funny because I watch so many fights, but, it's like I get down to my prediction, and sometimes I just go, man, how the fuck did I miss that? But that's the way it works sometimes. So anyway, guys, thanks for tuning into this edition of Cage Side with Christopher James. Don't forget, this weekend I'll be in Daytona Beach, Florida for BKFC 12, Julian Lane versus Thiago Alves. That's the main event on the card. We're also going to have Reggie Barnett Jr. Against Abby Velasquez. I believe that's the co-main event. Christine Ferreira is going to be back on after like 13 months of being out of action. Lorenzo Hunt, Joe Elmore versus Tom Schoaf. There's a lot of good fights on this card for you guys that follow BKFC. So if you haven't been following, you should get on that show, man, and follow it. It's the fastest growing combat sport on the planet Earth right now. Thank you so much for tuning in and hanging out with me this afternoon, and allow me to be a part of your life and you guys for being a part of mine on this day. Appreciate y'all. Have a great day. Enjoy the rest of it. Don't forget to tell the people you love that you love them, man. You never know when you're going to see them again. Sometimes it's just life. So always remember to tell those that you love them. Until next time, I am Christopher James. Y'all been with me, Cage Side. We'll see you next time. Have a good day. Good afternoon.